Hello viewers, during this video I'm going to discuss with you Myers-Briggs type indicator, a personality measuring instrument which was originally developed to measure the personality types developed by Carl Jung. Uh, it has 4 dimensions. So let's discuss in detail about these 4 dimensions. So, a Myers-Briggs type indicator or MBTI evaluates individuals on the basis of 4 types of preferences. That means each individual has a preference for a one type, and you can see that these preferences are on a one single continuum. That means on one side there is the introversion, so on another side that the extraversion. By uh, single continuum means that any individual can fall somewhere between extroversion and introversion, and so he or she has a tendency or inclination toward extroversion or introversion. Uh, by extroversion, I mean that the person being energized by the people and the social interaction. If you have a tendency toward extroversion, that means you are more inclined to meet with other people and to have more social interaction with them. And so that's way through these social interaction you get energized. And by introversion means that introvert people are more energized by having some private time and reflection. That does not mean that they are not inclined towards meeting other people. They meet other people, but that's a test in this dimension. This dimension tells us that how people uh, get their energies uh, get their energies back for those kind of a social interactions. So some people are get energized with a social interaction, and some people want to have some of their own time to get their energy back. So that also means that it is not necessarily that extroversion people are not going to have the personal time. They have the personal time, but they are more inclined towards meeting other people. The other dimension is sensing and intuition. Sense, and that is basically information processing dimension. Sensors are those people who rely more on their 5 senses. They prefer clear and the concrete facts and data. And intuitions are preferring hunches, speculation based on theory and imagination. Intuitive people are like those people who are reading between the lines. And sensory, the people who have a preference of sensing. They are more relying on the 5 senses. They, for example, observing of a person attire and observing what they are saying and sensing it out about, and they're making sense about that information which they are getting through their 5 senses. And intuitive people are more inclined towards reading under the lines, that what does it imply. So if someone has an inclination toward intuition, so they basically get the information through reading between the lines as well. Another preference, which is about how the people make the decision, that is basically between thinking and feeling. It's again a single continuum. If you have an inclination towards thinking, that means you approach decision with the logic and the critical analysis. And if you have an inclination towards feeling, that you consider your feeling first about when you are approaching your decision, your own needs, your other person needs, and your own feeling and other person feeling, and that can also become a criteria for decision making. That does not mean that the person is irrational, but that person is basically considering the feeling of the other person, or the considering the feeling of his or her own her own feeling during the decision making process. So some people also attach gender with this dimension. Like male are more inclined towards thinking, and women are more inclined towards feeling. But it is the research data also tells us that there are some men who are more inclined towards the feeling, and there are some few female who are more inclined towards the thinking when they are making their decisions. And the fourth type of preference is judging and perceiving. Uh, Judging, approaching task by planning and setting goals, versus perceiving means preferring to have flexibility and spontaneity when performing their task. Judging, you can also see that sometimes judging people are more inclined towards making their decision early, and and sometimes they feel anxiety when they are not making their decision. So if someone has a preference towards judging, so they are more inclined towards making decision early. Whereas the perceiving people are more about getting more information and the more information and the more information before they are going to make their final decision. And especially you can also see when you are submitting your assignment, some people made up their mind early, and they basically try to submit the assignment before the deadline. And some people are keep on getting information about that assignment and think that the deadlines are flexible, and sometimes they ask for certain kind of a flexibility in the deadline as well. So they have more inclination towards perceiving. Myers-Briggs type indicator evaluates individual on the basis of these four dimensions, which are extroversion, introversion, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, judging, and perceiving. On the basis of these four types of preferences, it generates one, let's say, what we call the different types, 16 different types of preferences. On the MBTI categorizes people on the basis of their preferences. For example, if you are INFJ, that's intuitive, introvert, uh, intuitive, and feeler, and judging. So judging, that means that it generated certain kind of a formula for a person. So it does not mean that any personality is a bad personality, but each personality is a different kind of the personality. So that basically tells you about